What's going on, everybody? It's Pegasus, it's Conway, it's Dom. All right, we're back, episode 4. Dom, how we feeling?
Awesome. Feeling great.
All right. I, on the other hand, am not feeling so great. The title of this episode is Dominion over Disappointment.
Don't like the negativity off the rip already, Conway.
It's Dominion over Disappointment, which is a play on words because Dominion means law. And recently, especially with this Best of Super Juniors, New Japan has had the law over disappointment. It's been so disappointing. Okay. So hopefully by the end of this, we'll get into the positives because there's a lot of good things coming up for New Japan. But first, we have to review the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors. And before we get to the main event, there's a few things I want to touch on about that card overall. And we're going to start with the opening match. It was an 8-man tag. The main reason I want to talk about this, and it will go into the second point, is because both you and I both wanted some unity and some tag team effort out of Ace Austin and Alex Zane. And we kind of got it. They were on the same page because they were on the same team, but they were on the same page. Now, after that match, they all celebrate, they all leave. And then later on in the night, Ace Austin comes out and joins the Bullet Club. And for a second, I was thinking, are we having Alex Zane join the Bullet Club, or is this the heel turn that we're getting? And we found out our answer, but it was in a backstage. And New Japan has done this in the past where they've done big things in backstages. We have Jeff Jarrett hitting Hulk Hogan in the head with a guitar in a backstage interview. It's more of a press conference, but it was backstage after a match. We've had fights break out during backstage interviews, and we have the whole Bullet Club unit. We have Jay White, Doc Gallows, we have Phantasmo, we have Ishimori, we have everybody in the Bullet Club for the most part in this backstage interview. And Alex Zane, for whatever reason, decides to confront Ace Austin. And then once his back gets turned, Ace Austin pulls out the rod and bashes him outside the back of the head. That's the heel turn. And you know what? That was my first disappointment of the night. And it's not that the heel turn happened, it's how it happened.
The execution.
It was the execution.
Absolutely
exactly.
Shits. Yeah.
That should have been taken care of in front of everybody. That should have taken place for everybody to see. Not you go on the YouTube the next day and it's there.
Right.
And I will admit, this may have been the magnitude of this might have been overblown a little bit by me and the internet, as some things usually are.
No, absolutely not. This was one of the most underrated things to happen all summer. Already. Like, yeah. How they could have planned this out for at least another month or so. The possibilities were endless with this. And it was one thing for it to be a turn, but then for Ace to join Bullet Club, that was just like, what are we doing here? But go ahead.
So here's the thing: is that when it comes to Ace joining Bullet Club, I'm okay with it, and that's because Jay White is wrapping up in New Japan, or excuse me, wrapping up in Impact. His dates are going to be picking up with New Japan. Um, Either he just got married or he just had a kid or something like that. There's something with his schedule, but more so it's the New Japan dates are going to be picking up, so his dates with Impact are going to go back. There's also rumor and innuendo that Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson are going to be wrapping up with Impact soon.
Wow.
So there is going to be a lack of presence with Bullet Club
Okay.
on Impact. So making Ace Austin a part of Bullet Club for the Impact reason, that's fine with me. Again, it's not my disappointment is not with Ace Austin joining Bullet Club. It's that Ace Austin turned on Alex Zane in a backstage interview that nobody saw until the next day.
And just to stop you for a second, Chris Bay.
Oh yes,
Did he
sorry,
have a
Chris Bay.
fallout? Did he have a fallout of Bullet Club? Why wouldn't Ace?
No.
Why wouldn't Ace stab Chris Bay in the back on Impact? Like, I haven't seen a fallout with Chris Bay or Bullet Club yet, and he hasn't been involved in any of this.
Chris Bay is still in Bullet Club.
Okay.
So so he's still in Bullet Club. So there's nothing wrong there. Hold on, I'm trying to find New Japan Strong. I'm trying to see how many views this thing actually got.
What, the turn?
Yeah, the turn, because the other thing too is like it's one of those things where okay, so it's gotten 105,000 views. So that's not horrible. That's a good number. You know what I mean? I wish our podcast would get to that number one day. You know what I mean? That'd be amazing. But
could you imagine opening this thing up and seeing 105K?
No, not at all.
No, never ever.
Send me the Salem Hospital, all right? But it's just like you could have done, because the other thing too is that video has the betrayal in front of everybody where he joins Bullet Club and then the backstage stuff. You could have maybe got. I'm just more.
You could have squeezed so much juice. You could have squeezed so much juice out of this, and like you said, they do it in a backstage fucking segment.
Yeah.
What? Just as it was just kicking off.
I know. And I think I said this to you before. If anything, that it felt like that was just gonna be a Best of the Super Juniors thing, and which is fine. I'm not upset about that. But again, my main gripe is that it was done in a backstage.
I get that. Although I will say, Alex Zane's Twitter with eating the meals by himself and posting Twitter is just how lonely he is. With what?
Well, he also did it with no shoes because El Phantasmo stole his slippers in the promo.
I didn't notice that. And the kid's been incredible though. Like what it's done for Alex Zane, and like we've talked about, just him doing this on Twitter alone and just eating food alone, and how funny it's been and humorous. Like, I don't know. I love it. So at least something good has come out of it, for Ace and hopefully for Alex Zane. I am excited to see what happens with him next and where he lands, because I hope this isn't the last we see of him on technically a mainstream screen,
So the idea I hope
he just doesn't end up going GCW for the rest of his game.
So here's my thing: if I'm Scott D'Amore of Impact, and I was watching Ace Austin stuff, I was probably watching other matches in the Best of the Super Juniors. I'm trying to get Alex Zane on my program to continue this. Okay,
100%.
There's no guarantee it's going to happen with New Japan because New Japan has too much talent to think about. And I don't think doing this on New Japan, even if you did it on New Japan Strong, I don't think you could give it enough attention. Whereas on Impact, I feel like if you bring in Alex Zane and do
there's so much. Impact is so good at that.
And you could capitalize on this because I think a lot of eyes woke up to Alex Zane. He had a monstrous performance. The points weren't there.
Tailor-made. Doesn't matter.
the points weren't there, but exactly, it doesn't matter. He showed.
He's tailor-made for Impact Wrestling. Get him in there.
Bring him in for the Ultimate X. That'd be great.
There's one spot left. Did you see? We'll get to it later.
Remind me when we get to it later.
It's the one thing I want to talk about. There was two. We're just gonna say this. There were 2 open spots in the Ultimate X division match, whatever it's called. Excuse me. And one of them has already been filled, and I'm not thrilled about what they decided to do there. Jack Evans.
Oh, okay. Jack Evans.
I mean, great. I get why. But when you see those 2 shadows, and you're waiting for Ace to come back from Japan for those 2 shadows to fill up, and they randomly select Jack Evans for no reason. It was more. If he was already mentioned for it, I guess I wouldn't have that much of a problem with it.
So
that's my grade.
That's fine.
Yep.
So moving on, the other thing I would like to talk about before we get to our main event is throw 'em up, United Empire, getting a win, TJP and.
Is that how you do it? How do you do it?
No.
Do you have to connect the thumbs?
2 I love yous crossing.
2 I love yous. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Right.
All right, great. I see them do it. I try to do it. I can't do it. I'm not cool. So.
We have Francesco Akira in TJP defeating Rasugi Taguchi and Master Wato, the worst wrestler on New Japan's roster, in a non-title match, which earned them a future IWGP Junior Heavyweight title shot. And if this means they beat 6 or 9, then I will swallow the medicine that is a disappointing Best of the Super Juniors for Francesco Akira.
Okay. Gotcha. So you want to see Akira in there, Akira and United, who's a Great Khan?
No, it's TJP.
Battle for the, great, even better. Akira and TJP battle for the New Japan tag titles.
Right. IWGP they have a match.
Tag titles.
They have a match coming up.
I'm so down with that. That's fucking awesome.
On June 20th for the IWGP titles, during New Japan's road tour.
Great.
Now we get to the main event. Now, actually, you know what? Before I go on this rant, Dom, please tell me what you thought about this main event.
I mean, so you sent me the match from 2020, and it was everything you said it was. We talked about it. I won't get into it again on why it was so awesome. So now I'm ready, right? And it got off to a slow start, and I'm like, I remember you saying it's going to be only 25 minutes. I think you said something like that, right? Like, don't expect a lot out of this match. Like, they're not going to go more than 30. And it's taken a long time for them to get going. And I'm like, I just saw what they did 2 years ago. So maybe we'll go on 45, and I'm going to not freak out yet. And then we hit that 20, 25-minute mark, and you see it. And I'm like, oh, my God, they're really going to fucking blow this. And that match sucked. It sucked. Compared to what the expectations that was set from their first match and what they gave us this year, wow. And like you said, and Tanahashi won, like you said he was going to. And I was all in on the other one.
El Desperado.
El Desperado. Yeah.
So they went 30 minutes and 37 seconds. That was the length of the match. Okay, so they went longer than they did in 2020. I said when we were previewing this match that the 2020 match became immediately one of my top 5 favorite matches in New Japan history. About the 25-minute mark of this match.
Of this match, yep, I'm with you.
This match, I started to get real nervous because it felt like to me, Desperado was working over Tanahashi's leg. He was trying to get that stretch muffler on.
Same thing he did last time. Yep.
And it was great. And then he hits like 2 or 3 of his finisher. Like he beat Wheeler Yuta with. He hit it once, boom, rolled him up, hit him again, and then I'm like, okay, this is it. El Desperado's got it. Fantastic.
Looked like it for a minute.
and then he kicked out. And I went,
Mm-hmm.
oh no,
fuck,
oh no.
yeah.
And then Tanahashi hit him with, I think it was the time bomb 3. I forget what he hit him with. And I was like, Despy, please kick out, please kick out. And he did. Last second. And I was like, okay, thank God. That was probably around the 27-minute mark. And I'm like, okay, we're going towards the end. And then I forget what happened, and I just went, my heart just
I
sunk,
watched it
and
that morning, and that was it.
I was like, I can't go back to it. I cannot go back to it. I've tried. I've started to watch it a little bit, and I just can't go back to it.
Hold on. Here we go. Sorry. There she is. Thank you. You good? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, never.
Sorry about
That's
that.
all right. On purpose. Yeah.
It's okay.
She didn't even say I knew she was doing it to break balls. She will get me tomorrow. She's like, I got you. I'm like, yeah, I know you did. Purpose.
So there's a point. I can't go back and watch this match. I can't. I got so mad. I was at work watching it. I know I shouldn't have been watching it during work, but I was. I had to go outside. I was like, hey, I just need to step outside real quick. I got to make a phone call. And I was so mad because I said it once. I said it twice. I'll say it 3 times. I'll say it forever. He did not need to win it 3 years in a row. He did not need to win it 4 times. And I want to be very clear. And I'll be very clear every time. It's not that he doesn't deserve it. He has carried that division for so long. But if there was any year that the best of the Super Juniors needed to be won by somebody not even new, just somebody else, it was this year. Okay? 2020
sure
and 2021
like
were fine. Those were the pandemic years. Fine. He's carrying the division. Wado wasn't Wado wasn't at his level yet. They were up there, but they weren't worthy of it yet. And I looking back on this tournament, Sho had a great performance and was a lot better than I thought he was going to be, and a lot more of a personality and a traditional what I expect out of a New Japan wrestler. So Sho, very good. This tournament he changed my mind about him. Yo, on the other hand, still boring, still sucks, still Wonder Bread. But
with where New Japan is right now and everything that's going on, I can't imagine that they did that. I just can't believe they pulled the trigger, like you said, and they didn't develop anybody throughout this whole tournament.
So I'll argue that they didn't develop anybody because I think they did. I think they gave Sho, like I said, they gave Sho time to develop and become more of a character, and I think this tournament helped him more than anything else could. I think you rebuilt the want and the need for foreign talent. I think you brought back the excitement of that. I think even though he didn't have the point total I wanted him to, I think you built Francesco Akira as, this is going to sound weird, but to me, Francesco Akira is the face in a heel faction with because the other thing too with Francesco Akira is that you watch him at the beginning and he's just doing what he's always done, and that's what from what I've heard, that's what they tell you to do in New Japan. Just do what got you there, and you're gonna get over. The fans are gonna love you. So Francesco Akira is doing what he does, and he has done in France and Europe and where he's wrestled. But then I feel like it was TJP or Gato or maybe Ospreay, and just went, hey, just to remind you, the United Empire is a bad guy faction. It's a bunch of heels. So, and you could see the attitude change a little bit, and you can, on camera, you can say, well, his losses are getting to him and he's getting upset and blah, blah, blah. But it felt like they did a good job of building Francesco Akira's personality. So they did build people, but the only justification I can come up with of why you have Tanahashi win, or excuse me,
Takahashi, I know. I do it all the time.
Takahashi. The only reason I
Yeah,
see
it's
you have
easy.
Takahashi win is because you feel as a brand that you are starting to have more American eyes on you, and you'd
Right.
rather have some. You can kind of, and I think you can do this in almost any sport with 2020 2021. Those champions of your Stanley Cup, World Championship, whatever championship it was, you can kind of put an asterisk, brush under the rug, whatever you want to do, to go, okay, 2022, everything's back to normal. This is what we want to present as our champions. So
Right.
New Japan goes, Takahashi is
You're our guy.
the
No,
flag
you're our guy
bearer
now.
of the New
Well,
Japan, of the New
yeah.
Japan Junior division.
Mhm.
So let's reintroduce everybody to the Super Juniors and have you guide everybody.
I mean, I'm putting him up there with now the big three. I'm putting him up there now with Okada and Tanahashi. Like he's now the, you know what I mean? Like he's now the big three. He's now a big,
right.
Not that he wasn't before, but this cements him as not just the flag bearer of the Super Juniors, but of New Japan Wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, he's now the guy.
Right. Yeah, but then so you have this historic win. This is legendary. He is now a legend in Japan. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know when he's getting his title match?
No.
He's getting it. I wrote it down. He's getting it June 21st. Random road show.
Why wouldn't they at least put it on Forbidden Door?
It's first off. So when it comes to Forbidden Door, I don't think you're going to see
New Japan versus New Japan. It's
right.
going to be. I was having this conversation with some friends, and they had the same line of thinking. I thought we were going to get a mix of everything: New Japan versus New Japan, AEW versus AEW, AEW versus New Japan. I didn't think it was going to be a collision of talent throughout top to bottom of the whole card.
So,
but if you think that, then and my other buddies think the same thing, so you guys are probably right.
So that's what I would have done. I would have had maybe I would have done Tanahashi versus Ishimori. I would have done
right.
Who are the tag champs right now? Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale versus Goto and Yoshihashi, and then 100%. I would have had like the TNT title defended, and now it's the All Atlantic title, and then have a mix from there. You know what I mean? So, but
I agree with that.
It's just like here's your historic win. Your title match is some random show that not everybody's gonna see because we're not putting a lot of press on it. It's gonna be the main event of that show, but that show's also gonna have like 4 6-man tags on it.
But you said it's a house show, right? It's not even like a New Japan Strong, or it's gonna be something they put on Access.
So they might put the match on Access. So
right.
So the road tour that is taking place June 18th to July 5th is going to be a tour so that everybody sees New Japan and it gets them around, and it's just
is it a tour of the United? Are they touring in the United States?
No, it's a tour of Japan.
It's in Japan. Okay.
So it's just a gap filler between the end of the Best of Super Juniors to Forbidden Door to G1.
Mm-hmm.
Or excuse me, you're right. Dominion to G1 essentially. So it's just a time filler. It's not. The shows are gonna be good. I'm probably gonna go through and watch the matches that interest me. Okay. Again, 6 versus 9. The only matches they've really announced are 6 or 9 versus United Empire and Ishimori versus Takahashi. So which are 2 different shows again, so they can main event. So those titles can main event. You know what I mean? So Okada might have 1 or 2 defenses, if any, on there. The reason I call them house shows is because not all the time, but a lot of the time, the different towns get the same kind of matches. They get you're going to see a lot of the same matches at each town. but each town hasn't seen that match before. You know what I mean? Unless they're watching it on New Japan World.
Gotcha.
So overall, out of a scale of 1 to 10, Dom, from beginning to the finals, what would you rate this Best of the Super Juniors? Your first Best of the Super Juniors.
I mean, my first. So I mean, it's going to be. I'm going high. I'm going to give it a 7. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to see what was going on. Unfortunately, the outcome wasn't what I expected, but just to see the mix of talent in some of these matches that happened, yeah, I'll go 7. You know, I didn't think it sucked by any means. I didn't think it was. I expected a little more out of certain matches that I didn't get, but overall, it's something I definitely go back and watch. And yeah, I'll give it a 7.
So for me, every time I look back on the Best of Super Juniors and I try to rank what I think I would rate them and whatever, it really comes down to what were my expectations and what were my thoughts on the finals. Because I really think that even though individual matches throughout the tournament can stand out and last longer than the finals are usually what makes the tournament. Now, unbiasedly, I think the finals was probably an 8 out of 10. Okay, I think if you look at it if you take 2020 out and you look at it as
8 out of 10. All right, so we're on the same page now. I didn't think you was going to score it that high. I thought with how many you've seen, you were gonna. I was assuming under 6 or under.
So the finals as a match was like an 8. The tournament overall, I thought was just as good, if not better, than I thought it was going to be. The match results weren't what I wanted it to be, but it's like.
But you knew that going in. You even said it.
Yeah. So, but the other thing too is if you look at 2021 and you look at 2020, the thing that stands out from 2021 isn't really anything. It was kind of a passable Best of the Super Juniors. When you look at 2020, the standout is that final. It was such a good final. So,
but the tournament itself sucked.
The tournaments themselves were very passable.
So they went finals heavy,
right,
during the bubbles. Okay.
And even 2021, it was like I think it was just a.
Not that I want to get into it too much. What was the finals? 2021?
2021 was Hiromu
obviously
Takahashi versus Yo.
Right. Yo, okay, you said that,
which
right?
went 38 minutes and 30 seconds. So I mean, like,
wow, okay.
But so as a tournament, it was really good. As a final, it was really good. It wasn't as good as 2019. 2019 was a very good tournament. 2018 was fine. 2017 was really good. It's probably the third best in the last 5 years. I think it's a solid 7.5, 8. So we're on the same page.
All right.
Best of the Super Juniors is behind us. We now look forward to this Sunday in Dominion.
Gotcha.
Dominion is a yearly show for New Japan, usually taking place after the Best of Super Juniors. And that's where we are right now. And so you've looked at the card a few times, right?
Yeah, I have it in front of me.
Okay, so we're going to go over it. But before we do, I want to know, what are your thoughts about it?
I mean, so far, I think Jay White and Okada are going to fucking tear the house down. I know it's a simple thing to say, but I wasn't. You got to remember, this is coming from a guy who, up until just recently, and with the help of you, disliked Jay White very, very much in and out of the ring. So the main event already has me roped in, and from what I saw them when they linked up in like a 6-man throughout this tournament once or twice, right?
I believe no, they just did at the finals.
Okay.
It was just the finals.
Anytime I've seen them in the ring together, it's been awesome. So yeah, I'm here for that. I don't know much about the guy Gatto, who is Goto wrestling Tanahashi, but I mean, obviously, I can't see him. I can't see it not being Tanahashi going for the AEW championship. And then you said Juice is out of the match, so it could just be Sonata and Ospreay, which is going to be fucking awesome.
So,
Colin, sorry, again.
So what I was going to say is that Juice needed his appendix removed. He was having.
Oh wow.
So I haven't seen. I'll check real quick, but I haven't seen anything brought up about it. I don't. The card really hasn't changed much. But the other thing too is that the last time Sonata and Will Ospreay were in the same ring, Will Ospreay broke Sonata's orbital bone, which is why Sonata's been gone for so long.
Okay.
So if they do that, that's fine. But I'm just letting you know, there's a chance that Ospreay breaks his orbital bone again. And as of an hour ago, New Japan is still advertising Sonata versus Ospreay versus Robinson. So right now, that seems to be the
and this show is it's this Sunday, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's probably going to be like 3 a.m. our time. So no thank you about staying up for that.
No. Good thing is I have Mondays off, so that's not too bad.
There you go.
It won't kill me then. Yeah.
So quick, before we run down the card.
Sorry, yeah, I kind of flew through that. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I just wanted your opinion. I wasn't expecting.
I'm here for it. Yeah, I am absolutely here for it. It's weird. There's guys in matches that I'm excited for, not the match in general.
Right.
But then, like, it's gonna open me up to the people on the other side of the ring, which I kind of love that shit. So it's like someone that might not be on my radar, but because you're in there with Jeff Cobb, now you have my attention. So
right.
I love that. That's why I'm very excited about this card for me.
So real quick history about Dominion. Out of the
is this like their SummerSlam?
No.
And is that good?
No.
Okay.
No. Well,
like second biggest show of the year is what I meant by that.
No.
Like Wrestle Kingdom's their WrestleMania. This is this. That's how I thought. That's how I took it.
So it's weird because if I had to rank if we're doing that, if we're 1-to-1ing with WWE.
I'm sorry. I don't like doing that, but even for people that might be listening that are just kind of even like me, yeah, like I'm a basic fan when it comes to this, so I kind of put it in perspective, I guess, correlate it to something, so I know what's going on.
That's fine. So yes, Wrestle Kingdom, WrestleMania, okay,
right.
So to me, after WrestleMania, it goes the Royal Rumble. I don't know if I'm alone on that, but when I rank WWE shows, it goes WrestleMania, Royal Rumble.
For excitement, Royal Rumble's number one for me, but I know what you're trying to say, yes.
So for me, when it comes to New Japan, and this may sound weird, it's the G1 Finals. That show. Okay. And that doesn't really have a name. It's the finals of the G1. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Then it's probably depending on when they do it, probably the Tag League Finals with Survivor Series or SummerSlam.
Gotcha.
And then Best of the Super Junior Finals. And then if it had to be fourth, it's tough because it's either going to be Dominion or New Year's Dash, which is essentially their Raw after WrestleMania. So I guess okay, so that's their Raw to WrestleMania. Never mind. So yeah, it's tough because.
So it's not. It's not what I think it is. That's all I needed to know. It's not as big a show as I thought it was. I was thinking this is their like number 2 show of the year. That's what I was asking.
To me, it's the G1 Finals because everyone gets invested in the G1, and it's so long. The G1 this year is July 16th to August 18th. So it's one of those things where the G1 Finals, everybody, and it has, and just like the Royal Rumble, the winner of the G1 goes on to face the IWGP World. Yeah, that's where you get the briefcase. That's where you get the number 1 contender for the IWGP World Championship in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. It does the night doesn't matter, but you know what I mean. So
the outcome, the whole night doesn't, but the outcome does.
Right. So
yes.
Just like the Royal Rumble.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Good point.
So the other thing too is like it's either Sakura Genesis or which I think they renamed to some Gold Dash or something like that, Golden Dash. It used to be Sakura Genesis or Dominion because it's kind of so with Dominion it's one of those things where they just wrap up the best of the Super Juniors and then okay, now we're gearing into Wrestle. It's like is SummerSlam beginning the road to WrestleMania? Is that what they call it? Is that
I always took Survivor Series as that, but that's an old school way of thinking. I don't know if it's still that format. Survivor Series always just kind of like end everything you saw from WrestleMania to SummerSlam, and then kind of kick off. It was like the ending of shit, and then the new beginning of where we're gonna go for the following year. But I don't know if they still follow that format. Like I don't know.
So to me, Dominion is the middle, and it's good that it comes in the 6th month of the year, but it is that middle point. It goes, okay, we've done New Japan Cup, we've done Best of the Super Juniors, now we're gearing up for the G1. We're gearing up for the G1, we're gearing up for World Tag League, and we're gearing up for the Best of Supers Tag League. So and that will all lead into Wrestle Kingdom. So I would probably say Dominion because Dominion is it's the show that tells the fans, okay, everything we're starting to get into gear. This is what we've all been leading to. Okay. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because like this is gonna sound weird or bad, but like in the beginning of the year you have the New Japan Cup, right? And that's a tournament to determine whoever will face the IWGP Championship or champion, excuse me, at Sakura Genesis or whatever they called it this year. And then there's this lull where like if you're a heavyweight, you kind of just have matches. Multi-mans, some singles, there's feuds because we have to entertain everybody and do whatever we need to do to keep the fans engaged. But you're not really you're putting in all your effort because you don't want to get hurt, you don't want to hurt somebody in your matches, but it's almost like a rest period to some degree, if that makes sense.
I gotcha.
At least in my eyes, it's that lull period where all the focus and the weight of the company is on the juniors because we have the best of the Super Juniors.
Okay.
But now in the back half of the year, that's when the heavyweights shine. That's when everyone goes, okay, now we have to get into gear because now it's G1 Climax, now it's World Tag League. So now it's like this is where everything starts to ramp up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Dominion's that kicking off point.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna go through the Dominion card. We're gonna give our winners, and we're gonna pick. I know. I'm interested to see your picks. I'm gonna let. Here's the thing. You're going first, so I know you're not copying my answers and just going with me. Okay. So
yeah, no, sure.
Okay, so the first match we have Hiroshi Tenzan teaming with 6 or 9 of Master Wato and Taguchi, and they are taking on the United Empire of TJP, Francesco Akira, and Aaron Henare. So, Dom, who you got?
I don't even have that one on here, but you said United Empire, so I'm taking.
Okay. So, here's my logic. I have Hiroshi Tenzan, Master Wato, and Taguchi. And my reasoning for that is that Taguchi and Wato need to pick up a win over the United Empire to offset the one that they lost at the Best of the Super Junior Finals, and they go even into their match on the 20th or the 21st.
So it's funny how you and me view the future outcomes of the matches. You go solely off of what's happening in New Japan, and that is it. And that's awesome. That's probably the formula that you should be looking at. And I'm the complete opposite. I'm that AEW mainstream fan where I see these guys popping up on AEW, so they're automatically the ones that are gonna get, they're gonna get the W. So that's where my head is.
So New Japan is very 50-50 booking. For a lot of it, it's not always the case, but like they very much like to, when a title match is on the horizon, or like for example, the road to shows, it's very much 50-50 booking. It's very much you'll win a few, we'll win a few, or we'll trade wins until X time. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like,
yes.
And it's knowing that is very boring to watch, even though the matches are still really good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next match we have Los Ingonables de Japón of the the Best of Super Juniors winner Takahashi teaming up with Tetsuya Naito and Bushi, taking on IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Taichi Ishimori, his Bullet Club cutest tag team partner of El Phantasmo, and the recently member of the Bullet Club, Ace Austin.
Okay, I have that at the bottom. Yeah. So I have Naito, Bushi, Takahashi versus Phantasmo, Ace Austin, Ishimori. That's what I have here.
Yeah, that's what I have.
That's what you said. Okay, sorry. My brain wasn't fucking registering.
You're fine.
That. All right, so good. We have the same thing. So you're asking me who is going to win this, and this is for a trophy?
No, this is just a 6-man.
Just a 6-man. I'm going to go with my boy Ace and Ishimori and Phantasmo, because Takahashi just won the tournament. Naito's awesome. Bushi's good. But Ace Austin and Ishimori and Phantasmo. 100%.
So I want to take Bullet Club. I want to take Bullet Club at every single chance I get. Are you a
Bullet Club guy?
I'm a Bullet Club guy since 2013, my friend.
I apologize. I'm going to shit on them a lot.
No, you're fine.
I'll try not to. And it's not them. I don't know what it is. Go ahead. But when I do that, I didn't know you were a Bullet Club guy, so I'll refrain a little bit. I don't like it at all, but I think if I watch the early stages of it, and it's I think because when I first saw it for the first time, it was like, man, you know what? I think the first time I actually saw them unfold was ROH. Cody turns and the Bucks. It's like Cody, the Bucks at a huge ROH show. Does that sound right? Something happened there, maybe.
Sorry, give me that one more time.
I want to say it had something to do with like there's a big ROH show going on, and I think Cody and the Bucks were involved.
Oh, I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you can understand that was like I knew what was going on Bullet Club, but the first time I ever saw them, it was that, and I was very into what Cody was doing in Ring of Honor and loving all of it, and I think that's when Cody turned heel.
Yeah,
I think right.
Well, I think he was always heel in Ring of Honor. He just joined Bullet Club.
And then he grabbed the mic and he went fucking off that night, which was awesome. And I loved it. I just didn't love it with Nick and Matt Jackson because anytime I see them, I want to fucking throw up all over the place. So, but they're a good tag team. And that's what sucks because these kids are actually talented. They got me. They have me exactly where they want me. And I hate them for every reason they want me to hate them. So kudos to the Young Bucks. But yes, so I think that's where my bad taste comes in with the Bullet Club, and that was my first vision of them and seeing all of this, and I just thought it was a cheap trick to get heat.
So
that being said, if I jump into them early, I think I'll enjoy it a lot more. Go ahead.
So real quick. Okay. Mm-hmm. So first off, let me pick the match real quick. I want to pick Bullet Club. No, you're fine. I want to pick Bullet Club every single chance I get because I've been a Bullet Club fan since 2013. Okay. This Bullet Club is for life. I know. I can feel the glare from the wife.
I can feel I'm gonna hit the mute button. I'm just gonna hit the mute button and.
So, you actually hit it. Oh my god. So
we're not there yet, Conway. Couple more episodes.
So I want to take Bullet Club, but my head is just picturing the image of Takahashi in the corner, holding up the best of the Super Juniors, and Ishimori with El Phantasmo or Ace Austin over his shoulder, like holding them up while he's holding the IWGP title. You know what I mean? Like that visual is in my head. So I think it's gonna go LIJ. But so when it comes to Bullet Club, I was a big Prince Devitt fan. Okay, for those of you who don't know, that's Finn Balor. Okay,
yes,
I loved him.
I think the stuff with him and AJ, I would absolutely dig.
In New Japan in the early years, like 2010 to 2013 is really when I picked up. And he did a very good job of pulling me into Japanese wrestling.
As you should have. I mean, that's their formula, right? Get a guy that attracts the American viewers in Finn Balor, AJ, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole. Right. I mean, that's your four.
So he had an amazing Best of the Super Juniors. I forget what year that was. I think he's won it once or twice. I can't remember off the top of my head. But then he was teaming with Taguchi, doing really well with him, and he felt like a breath of fresh air, and he was so
makes
good.
Sense.
And then the more I watched, the more I hated Taguchi, and I was like, please get him away from him. Please get Devitt away from Taguchi, because I've seen what he could do in his singles, and I thought Taguchi was holding him back or holding him down. And then him and Taguchi lose to Kushida and Alex Shelley, and Devitt turns on Taguchi.
Wow.
And then
I'm sorry, it was Alex Shelley. Who was Shelley's partner?
Kushida. They were the time
splitters. Gotcha. Yeah.
And then that's the introduction of Bad Luck Fale, the underboss of Bullet Club. And Bad Luck Fale has always, before he joined Bullet Club, was always funny to watch for me, because he's 7 feet tall. He's like, he might be 6'11" actually, but he's a massive fellow, especially in Japan. So to watch him be a young boy and be around the ring and like sitting there at the apron like this, and then having to like run to go get a title or hold the barricade, it's just funny to watch, like especially now seeing who he is and what he's become. So Bad Luck Fale joins Devitt, and then Carl Anderson joins. Carl Anderson was coming off a G1 final where he lost to Kazuchika Okada, but it was a breakout G1 for Carl Anderson. It cemented him in the fans as one of their favorites.
Well, he's still riding that wave right now, actually. Yeah.
But that wasn't even. Here's the thing with Carl Anderson is that.
I love Carl Anderson. That wasn't an R.
It started with the G1, then he joins Bullet Club and becomes the Carl Anderson we know now. But at the same time, it was his tag runs with Giant Bernard, who is Prince Albert, who is now training NXT, and with Doc Gallows. It was those two title runs, or those two tag teams, that really like shot him into the stratosphere. Right. And like, don't get me wrong, his tags with Hiroki Goto, who we'll talk about later, were also very good and very helpful to him in the eyes of the fans. But it was really that G1 in the tag room with Bernard that really bursted him out. So then you get the Bullet Club young boy of Tama Tonga, and you just watch his growth in New Japan. And that's why, and I said this to you, and we'll talk about it. We'll just talk about it right now. The match for the never openweight title between Tama Tonga and Carl Anderson
should be a war.
Is going to be a war because it's a historic war. There is so much history for two people that have, and if I thought about doing the research earlier, I would have done it, but I don't think have faced off at all. I don't know if they faced off in multi-mans, but this is at least
first meeting.
Their first singles match.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like nowadays, especially when you're in the same company with somebody for so long, it's hard to find those. And
absolutely,
to me, this is a mentor-mentee kind of match. Tama Tonga was the young boy of the Bullet Club for so long, but then his brother came in and he had the two of them, God, to me, a very underrated tag team when you talk about the tag teams of the world.
Sure.
But they are so dominant as a tag team, and they are so good as a tag team. But Tama Tonga finally breaks out and defeats Evil for the Never Openweight Championship, and now his mentor is back.
Gotcha.
And
yeah, no, I'm here for this.
This is like, don't get me wrong.
Kyle Anderson can go. Like I don't think people understand how good he is as singles because WWE never allowed it, and I mean even in Impact he hasn't done much. So this might surprise a lot of people.
So I am all in on Kazuchika Okada versus Jay White because I can watch that match every day of the week and love it every day of the week.
They are be
so good together.
Smooth. They work unbelievable together.
But
yeah, peanut butter and jelly.
But I cannot stress how much I believe Tama Tonga and Carl Anderson have the potential to steal this show.
Ooh, I like it.
I really do.
I like it.
I have Tama Tonga winning. I think this is his first test as a singles champion. And
you know what,
I can't. Right. I almost don't want to watch any other match. I'm so amped for this match.
You know, unless this one continues and they go like, you know, they go like a trilogy and Anderson pulls some shady shit and, you know, we get his boy Gallows and all that. But you might be right. I would like to see this one go a few. I like to see a few more rounds out of them. So, because you said Tonga, I will go Kyle Anderson, but with some shady shit and some serious heat to end this match.
So here's my feeling on Tama Tonga as the Never Openweight champion. I feel like this is New Japan going, we're giving you this ball, run with it.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He's a champ. I didn't see that. Yeah.
And
how long ago did he win this title? How long has he had it?
40 days. As of today, It's been 40 days.
Wow. But if he gets ripped from him by Kyle Anderson and then he has to go back and reclaim it, so he's a babyface right now.
Tama Tonga, yeah. Well,
because he acts like a Bullet Club. He got kicked out of the Bullet. Right. Oh, that happened on Impact. Gotcha. Yep. Okay. All right.
So here's the thing. I feel like if Tama Tonga has a good to great never open title reign, not this year, maybe next year, if not 2 years from now, I can see him winning the G1.
Wow.
He is slowly becoming the top. Him and Jay White.
He's Haku's kid, right?
Yeah. Him and Jay
I can see
White,
where New Japan would go with him.
Him and Jay White are the top two gaijins in New Japan and will be for a long, long time. Tama Tonga wants nothing to do with WWE. Jay White.
No, he doesn't. But he yaps a lot. He yaps a lot. He would never come. But you know what, being Haku's kid, and if he got that big, who he's gonna start jarring at on Twitter, if he hasn't already.
He has. No, he has. He's fired shots at the Usos. Many of times.
At the Usos.
And he's shot a shot at Roman Reigns once or twice.
Okay. I mean, I'm kind of here for that. I know it would never happen, but it's fun to watch on Twitter, and I think that would be good for him.
And Jay White isn't. I would be shocked if Jay White goes to the WWE. I really would.
No, no, absolutely not.
So I think with those two as the top gaijins and Will Ospreay too. So those are the top three gaijins in New Japan right now. So it's like New Japan, and if you were to rank them, it probably goes Jay White, Ospreay, and then Tama Tonga. But if Tama Tonga has a great title reign he's gonna surpass Ospreay. And when it comes to Ospreay, there's gonna be there's a long payoff. Okay, they're building to something. There's gonna be a long build, and I feel like it's coming in the G1, and I feel like it's coming at Wrestle Kingdom. It's the fanboy hope in me, but it feels logical to me as well.
I'm excited for this.
So anyways, back to Dominion.
Wait, what is it?
What? Oh, that Will Ospreay's going to win the G1 and then win the title at Wrestle Kingdom.
Off of Okada?
You can sell me on that. I have Okada beating Jay White at Dominion. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jay White wins at Dominion.
Okay.
Which is
so
why
should I get Ospreay and Omega out of my head completely? Because that's my long term with these two. My only issue is for this year at least. Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't see Omega.
Yeah, I know you said that till 2023, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, so back on track.
Yep.
We have Toru Yano.
Yeah.
Some people like the chaoticness. Some people like it. Some people like it.
Where are we?
So we have Toru Yano versus Doc Gallows.
So when did these matches come out? I just put this together like 2 or 3 nights ago, and I didn't see. It's the second match already that I did not see. Anyway, go ahead. I was wondering why Gallows wasn't on the card.
No, he is.
So I don't have this in.
So, Gallows versus Toru Yano. This match. Okay. I'm fine. It's okay.
So I'm going Gallows right off the rip. Okay.
That's fine. I'm telling you right now, this match is going to be hilarious.
Shit. Yeah. Oh, okay.
This match is going to be so funny.
Gotcha.
I cannot wait for it.
Awesome.
Toru Yano is notorious. Toru Yano is a funny case because Toru Yano was a big bad guy who had hardcore matches. Him and Makabe faced Team 3D multiple times in hardcore matches. Toru Yano was notorious for being just the baddest of bad, bleeding constantly. He was one of the top heels in New Japan. And
Gotcha.
then I can't tell you when. I haven't seen it. I don't know if I want to look for it. He just became this funny, kooky guy, and it's so funny. He's won matches by taping his opponent's wrists to the barricade. He's won matches by taping his opponent's ankles together.
Gotcha.
He beat Minoru Suzuki that way, I believe.
That's pretty fucking cool. All right, I see what you're saying.
He's just a funny guy who
creative.
Yeah. He's just having a good time. He really is. Toru Yano to me is the veteran that doesn't take himself serious anymore and is just looking to have fun till he retires.
Gotcha.
And doesn't want to wrestle really
I like that.
insane matches. He just wants to have
fun.
You
just sold me on a match that I had no intention of thinking that I would have been in. I probably would have took a bathroom break, So, all right.
So
I like it.
So I'm expecting this to be 5 minutes of comedy
Cool.
because Doc Gallows, as we've seen,
he's
can
fucking
be hilarious.
Riot, dude. He's an absolute riot. Like the shit they do him, and
So I fully much expect this match to be pretty funny. I have Yano winning, but it's really a toss up to me. It doesn't. Yeah, it's a toss up. That's really the only toss up I have on this card, really.
Okay.
So yeah. Next we have the Never Open Weight 6-man tag championships. we have the defending champions of the House of Torture of Sho, Evil, and Yujiro Takahashi taking on
Saber,
Suzuki-gun,
Kanemaru, and Desposito. Oh, sorry.
Kanemaru, Zack Sabre Jr., and El Desperado.
Mhm.
I have House of Torture winning. I have Bullet Club.
House of Torture is Evil Show and Takahashi.
Yes. It's
Okay.
also a subgroup of Bullet Club, so I have Bullet Club going over here. They are the champs. I just don't see a title change here.
I see what you're saying. And they are the champs. Yeah, I'm with you on that, because the only thing I see on the other side is Zack Sabre Jr., who I can take or leave at any moment. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
I had a small thought the other day when looking over this card of, hey, El Desperado, we didn't give you the Best of the Super Junior title, but here's the 6-man championship. You know what I mean? And like that doesn't sit well with me, so I hope it doesn't
I don't like
happen.
That. I would not.
No one should. No one
yeah,
should.
I'm also with that. I mean, just the picture. I mean, the graphic, the one I have at least of who is that? The one holding the titles. Naito. Why is Naito holding the titles in this picture?
I don't know.
I don't know
what picture you're looking at.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Continue. That's what fucked me all up. Go ahead. I have no idea why that's the graphic. Go ahead.
Are you looking at?
Yeah, I took it off their website, but this one also changed a couple times. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, here we go. I want to see what you're looking at because I'm on the website. I just went to the website.
Have. I don't know if you can see it.
See, they don't have anybody holding the title. Or did you pull it off Twitter, maybe?
Maybe I pulled it off their Twitter.
Oh, okay.
It's really strange. I don't know why.
All right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see House of Torture losing this. I really don't. All right. Next match, we have a pseudo rematch, I want to call it. We have Grado Khan and Jeff Cobb challenging for the IWGP Tag Team Championships against Chase Owen and Balak Fale in their first defense.
You know where I'm going here, so.
Okay, so I know you're going United Empire.
Yeah.
And here's where I am.
Like, who is Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale? Like, who the fuck? Like, what are they? Who are they? This kid looks like a Trent Beretta knockoff, bro. And the other guy looks like D'Lo Brown. That's what I see in this picture. I see Trent Beretta and D'Lo Brown. That's what I see. What the fuck is this? What the fuck am I looking at? Like, why would I think these guys would win anything ever?
Okay, so here's okay.
But I love Trent Beretta. That's not a knock. Sorry. Or D'Lo. That's what I see when I see it.
Okay, so Chase Owens and Balak Fale are Bullet Club mainstays. They're probably the longest. I would have to say they're probably the longest members right now. Balak Fale joined in 2013, and Chase Owens joined in 2015. Yeah, so Yujiro Takahashi joined in 14. So they're two of the oldest members of the Bullet Club. So they've always been like, remember, I forget if it was what episode it was, but you remember how I told you every faction has jobbers, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
They have the people that are going to take the So that was Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale for the longest time.
Gotcha.
Now when it comes to Bad Luck Fale, he's a former IWGP Intercontinental Champion. I think he's been a finalist in the New Japan Cup twice. He's had good runs in the G1 before, so he's not like a complete jobber. Chase Owens, on the other hand, he would take the fall when he would tag with Kenny Omega in the Best of the Super Junior Tag Tournament, or any other junior stuff that he would do with Kenny. But they formed a team and they got their wins and they won the titles off. And it was a triple threat. It was United Empire walking as champions, Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, and then Yoshihashi and Goto and they pinned Goat. I think Yoshihashi took the pinfall.
Okay.
So it feels like a journeyman kind of title win. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Okay.
So, but here's the thing: is that I think this match, the reason I pick United Empire, is because I didn't even write this match down. But anyways, it doesn't matter. The reason I have United Empire winning is because I feel like this match has Forbidden Door implications on it. I think New Japan and AEW want the United Empire versus FTR, whether that be a champion versus champion with no titles on the line, or it might be. Honestly, there's seeing what happened on Wednesday and seeing the match that's going to happen on Friday. I feel like we're gonna get a 10-man tag where it's Osprey, Hanare, it's Osprey and Aussie Open with Khan and Cobb versus FTR, Beretta, Rocky Romero, and pick somebody. Maybe Chuck Taylor. So, but I I also think that like FTR said they want the IWGP titles.
Fucking sick.
They're gonna. I have a strong feeling they're gonna be in World Tag League. So
Okay.
I think that
Yikes.
has Forbidden Door implications, and I would be shocked, but not surprised, if United Empire doesn't walk out with the titles.
Gotcha.
As much as I hate to say this, there's a part of me that thinks the win by Fale and Owens was a feel-good moment for them.
Okay.
Kind of like, hey guys, thanks for all the things you've done for us over the years, kind of deal. You know what I mean? So
That makes sense.
I want to. If Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale were facing anybody else, I'd pick them to win. But with Forbidden Door on the horizon, and I you've introduced United Empires heavily so far on television, where you haven't with Bullet Club that much. So I
Right.
feel like if anyone's going to represent New Japan and the IWGP Tag Titles on the Forbidden Door show, it's going to be the United Empire, and it's going to be Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan. So
yeah, I'm not huge on Great O'Khan. I haven't seen much of him, but I mean, anytime you put Cobb with someone, I'm locked in. So I'm here for all that.
Okay, here's the thing with with Great O'Khan. When he debuted, I was like, oh, this is kind of a hokey 80s WWF
Looks like
gimmick.
it.
You know what I mean? And New Japan does that. Prime example, Evil.
Yeah, like Quang kind of. Even this photo even kind of looks like that. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
They sometimes they give people the 1980s WWF gimmick.
Okay.
Like Evil, when he doesn't do it so much now, but when he first debuted, he would come out with the giant scythe, and like he looked like the Grim Reaper, and he had the lights that go on fingertips and do the beams.
Yeah.
He had those on like his finger, like so.
See, I'm a sucker for that though. Like I think I would dig that. I'd be like, oh, you get my attention now.
Go back and watch old Evil stuff.
I might have to now. I think you sold me.
So, so when Great O'Khan first started, I was like, all right. But then he joined United Empire, and I was like, okay, he's probably gonna be good. And then he started to do more, and I was like, okay, I kind of like this guy. I'm not like the biggest fan of him, but he's fine.
So take a closer look at Great O'Khan next time.
Hold on.
Sorry.
When I really fell in love with Great O'Khan was a week or two ago when he was in Vegas. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Twitter.
Go find it.
And go to Great O'Khan. I almost said Jeff O'Khan. Great O'Khan's
Twitter.
And
Vegas
just look at the pictures and videos he took.
I think now that you say that, that's starting to ring a bell. I think that might have crossed my feed. Yeah. Okay.
He's getting spanked at the Heart Attack Grill. And if you know anything about the Heart Attack Grill, If you don't finish the food, one of the waitresses is going to spank you with a paddle. He
my kind of place.
He did a bull ride of a body part.
Beautiful.
He took some pictures with some women outside of or on the Vegas Strip. And when I saw those pictures and videos, without even thinking, it never hit the filter. The words of "this man needs to be protected. He is a national treasure" came out of my mouth.
Gotcha.
I was like, I don't care how much I don't like. I don't care how I feel about his wrestling. He needs to be protected with everything we've got.
Got it.
So,
love it.
But okay. Next, another Forbidden Door implication. We have Hiroki Goto versus
yes, Tanahashi.
the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Do you want a backstory on Goto before you?
So I was going to say that because obviously it's clear as day, Tanahashi, no doubt. But give me a backstory as to why Goto's here, what his deal is, why he's even involved in this match. Again, I feel like it's another spot where AEW could have did something with somebody that I have an idea of. Oh, I remember this guy from the tournament. I see why he's there, and I feel like it would have been such a good spot to cash in on someone you didn't really spotlight as much as you wanted in the tournament. So that's my take on this match. I don't understand why this guy's here.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of Hiroki Goto. Okay, Before I talk about my feelings on Hiroki Goto, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown. He is a former two-time IWGP Intercontinental Champion.
Okay.
He is a former two-time IWGP Tag Team Champion. He is a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. He is the 2008 winner of the G1 Climax. He is a three-time New Japan Cup winner. He is a three-time World Tag League winner, once with Carl Anderson.
So very decorated.
He won the Young Lion Cup in 2005. He won the he's a five-time Never Openweight champion, and he's won the Never Openweight 6-man tag champion before. Okay, so he is very decorated. Okay,
I like that.
But the stigma with Hiroki Goto is that he can never win the big one. I don't know what the number is now, but when he faced Tetsuya Naito, when he defeated Tetsuya Naito at Wrestle Kingdom 10, he received his 8th IWGP Heavyweight title shot. He has not won that championship once. Okay, so the stigma on him.
You see, this is the shit. This is why I love you, because you just turned this match into, oh, this is serious. Like, now I understand it. That's everything this match is supposed to be. If I don't understand who this guy is in the ring with him.
Now,
so yeah, the implications are absolutely there for Goto to be in the ring with Tanahashi, be in this spot. Okay, you got me.
Goto. Here's the other thing with Goto, and I've flip-flopped on Goto often because he can tear the house down. I've seen him tear the house down with Minoru Suzuki, Tomohiro Ishii, Okada, Shibata.
Is he that kind of physical style? Like, is he like those two guys that you just mentioned? Like, just beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, he's gonna hit the
I
sweat
like that
off
style
you.
too. Okay.
He's gonna hit the sweat off you, and the sweat's just gonna fly into the 8th row.
So it's a Clash of Styles match too, which is awesome.
Well, so that's the other thing is like
kind of the opposite of that.
I feel like a lot of people believe, and he is, but I believe a lot of people believe that Tanahashi is a very not flamboyant wrestler, but he is a showman and very flashy.
I know what you're trying to say. Yeah,
but
I can see that.
He can bang. You know what I mean? Like if you watch his the early Wrestle Kingdoms with Kenji Muda and Minoru Suzuki and Okada, like if you watch, he can
When was that?
And hit you. Those are Wrestle Kingdoms.
Okay.
For the longest time, the only two people that were main eventing Wrestle Kingdoms were Tanahashi and Okada.
Okay.
Like, just the two of them have main evented like 4 or 5 Wrestle Kingdoms.
Wow. I gotta find. And you said these early ones are tough to find. They're not on New Japan World. You were having a tough time. Oh, you were having tough times with the ones that were in Impact, right?
Right. The ones that were on the Impact, I was.
But the earliest ones are on New
Japan
Japan
World. Yeah.
I'm gonna check that. I might dive into those this weekend then. All right.
So
cool.
Here's the thing: if you recently with Hiroki Goto, he kind of took the jobber of Chaos, which was Yoshihashi, and kind of built him up so that they had their IWGP Tag Title run. You know what I mean? That they just got out of. But he's kind of been treading water, and which is weird to say when somebody's a tag champion, but that's my feeling on Hiroki Goto. If you tell me that 2016 Hiroki Goto, if you tell me 2015 to 2018 Hiroki Goto is walking into this match, then Goto has a high chance of winning.
Wow.
Now, I say that, and I give you all that to tell you that Tanahashi versus Jon Moxley has been being built for months. Moxley has called out Tanahashi every chance he's gotten. Okay.
I feel like it's been close to a year now where that name has been coming out of Moxley's mouth.
So you could tell me Jon Moxley is going to face everybody on the AEW roster, and if he wins every single one of those matches, he'll face Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. I'm picking Jon Moxley every single time. This was a match I had on my predictions for Forbidden Door, because they've been building this match for so long. So to tell me this match is not going to happen at Forbidden Door, you're lying to my face. So when all this went down and all this shook out, I went, can we just make the match Moxley versus Tanahashi? We don't have to go all through these extra steps.
I thought we were getting it here. So you're probably right.
There's no need to go through all these extra steps. Just announce the match for Forbidden Door. But there are people out there, and there are fans who are not as conspiracy theory driven as I am, and not so much in Kanto we see the writing on the wall. You need to do the extra steps to get here. Tanahashi and Goto are going to have a great 15-20 minute match.
Okay.
It's going to be great. It's going to be like the old days, in my opinion. But if you couldn't give me money to bet on Goto.
Right. I get that. Yeah, that's understandable. Even with everything you just said, right. The situation and the stipulations and everything that's involved with this and what's been going on, AEW fans would be like me without knowing what you just told me and be like, fuck, what? Who?
Right.
What? No.
Right.
Yeah. They brought Tanahashi out on their AEW television. That was such a monster moment for them, even though what happened after, and it sucks. But like for me, him walking out on stage, like maybe I'm just way too into this, but I would literally my eyes popped out of my skull and was like, oh shit, like that's fucking huge, man. I don't know. I thought it was. So yeah.
It was the first time. It was the first time Forbidden Door felt real. You know what I mean?
I was not believing this bullshit until him or Okada walked out on stage in an AEW arena.
Yeah.
I wasn't. You didn't have my attention. You probably didn't have my money for Forbidden Door. So.
All right. So next we get to the King of Pro Wrestling trophy match. We have current holder of the trophy, Shingo Takagi, taking on Taichi. So what's interesting about the King of Pro Wrestling trophy is that the fans, so that each wrestler in the match gets to suggest a stipulation for the match.
Cool.
And to which then the fans will get to vote on the match. excuse me, will get to vote on which stipulation they want to happen for the match, and then whichever
Gotcha.
one wins, that is the one that will be decided. So,
Okay.
last time these two fought, it was some crazy 30 count match. I don't even remember what the rules were, but it was some crazy stipulation. This time, Taguchi's stipulation, it is a 10-minute scramble. Unlimited. Whoever gets the most pins in the 10 minutes wins. So it's a 10-minute Iron Man match. All right.
Which one is the one? Which one is the one that looks like Shredder from Ninja Turtles with the thing on his face? Which one is that in these pictures? Like he's got the robe on, he's got the face mask on, and it's fucking
the
sick.
half mask.
The half mask around his mouth.
What color? Okay, around his mouth in the white robe.
He's got
right?
He's got the white robe with the red trim. He's got the fucking Master Shredder.
That is the Dragon Shingo Takagi.
I'm taking him to kill everyone. All the time.
Okay, so I need you to. Okay, in that case, watch Shingo Takagi versus Will Ospreay at any point in time. Those matches
Fucking
are
right
crazy.
now. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Where is that? Where does that take place?
Oh God, it was 2019 or 18 Best of the Super Junior Finals.
18. I'll find it.
It was Will Ospreay's third defense of the IWGP World Championship when he broke his neck.
I keep forgetting.
Was
that the match he does it in?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Fuck.
I think it was a table bump to the outside. I can't remember.
I might have it on my Fight TV then. All right. Anyway, continue to this match, and we'll get into that one later. Sorry.
So Taichi's stipulations are, you have to get a total of 10. First 1 to 10 wins, right? So
first 1 to 10 wins.
First 1 to 10 wins. Taichi can only use the Gato clutch to win, which is a pin variation, whereas Taguchi can only use the ground cobra, which is another pin. Another pin variation. So in Taichi's stipulation, first 1 to 10, the person can only use that move to win.
Okay.
But the fans decided 68% to 32% for Shingo Takagi's rule. So it is a 10-minute Iron Man match.
10 minutes?
10 minutes. That's the time limit. And
so they're just gonna fucking go nuts they're just gonna kick the shit out of each other for 10 minutes because both these guys look like they're absolute warriors.
So
like
Taichi is very showy. He comes out singing. He has a hot girl with him that's gonna sing with him.
All right.
That's the guy in the black in that picture.
Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry. Yep, gotcha.
So it was actually funny when they had a press conference about this match. Shingo was like, no, the reason I want this 10-minute match is because I want to exhaust you in the first.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go by Shingo with him because his last name and the other guy's name are way too fucking close. I'm gonna mess that up every time. So Shingo. All right, got it.
So Shingo is he's called the Dragon for a reason. This man, I've been watching this man since he was with Dragon Gate, and he's just insane. He's absolutely insane. He's amazing. I think he's underrated to some degree. Like I think if you don't watch New Japan, you have no idea who he is, but he's easily one of the top 10 wrestlers in the world. Easily.
Yeah, and I've actually probably seen his matches, but he's just popping off the screen right here with that look. So yeah, okay. Love it.
We've already talked about Tama Tonga versus Carl Anderson, so we're gonna skip it. And now we get to a match that's kind of up in the air. We talked about a little bit earlier with Juice Robinson and the U.S. title. Juice Robinson had appendix surgery. But as of today, New Japan is still advertising this match to be triple threat. Juice Robinson.
As much as I shit on Juice, he's a gamer and he gets up for this shit. So if there's any way he can go, he's going to. He seems like that type of kid, which I love about him. So like, if this kid goes on fresh off a fucking appendix surgery, like you jump it up in my book. So that's awesome. Go ahead.
So we have Juice Robinson walking in as the IWGP United States Champion, taking on the returning Sonata and the leader of the United Empire. Recently off his AEW debut, Will Ospreay. Now, I have Juice Robinson winning. I think that the United States title is not going to be on the Forbidden Door show. I think Will Ospreay is going to be on the Forbidden Door show doing something. And I think Sonata, if Sonata wins, I won't be surprised. But I think they just gave it to Juice. Juice has a lot of momentum. He's coming off that 4-way, and they're going to keep it on Juice. It might be a case where this kind of breaks off to just a Juice and Sonata feud. And Will Ospreay fucks off and does something else.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't think I don't see Juice Robinson not walking out as champion unless for whatever reason they want to take the title off him because of this appendix and they want him to recover. The only surgery I've ever had is on my eye and I was like 5, so I have no idea what an appendix surgery recovery time is. So
me neither.
I mean, it could be anywhere from a few days to 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So obviously, I mean,
hold
for
on,
me,
go ahead, but I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I'm fucking Ospreay, been Team Ospreay for a long time. So, especially him showing up. I mean, anything. I'm United Empire for the clean sweep and everything they're involved in on this show. But that's just me being an absolute fucking ignorant mess when it comes to what is actually going on with everyone else involved.
So, just a quick Google search.
Mm-hmm.
Surgery.com has, if you have a laparoscopic surgery, a patient is often able to resume normal activities in 1 to 3 weeks. An open surgery may require 2 to 4 weeks for recovery. With a ruptured appendix, it may take up to 6 weeks or more.
Wow.
I don't know the significance or I don't know anything about the surgery, so I don't know how much recovery time he actually needs. So if we might see him show up with a covering on wherever the scar is. You know what I mean? Just to prevent anything like that.
I mean, it's not a bad way to just for the match in general and just attack it. Walk into a match like that with a big bullseye on you. Like I'm already all in on a match like that. He walks in with a band all bandaged up. Like, yeah, that might not be bad. That match might be fucking awesome.
And now it's time for us to talk about the main event. Kazuchika Okada, who, like I said, has main evented 9 out of 14 Dominion shows, taking on the catalyst of professional wrestling, the leader of the Bullet Club, the Switchblade, Jay White. Dom,
Okada,
what are your thoughts?
Okada all day. I mean, how do you take the title off this kid with everything that's about to happen? Like, but that's me. Then maybe I should get away from that mentality of like everything that's going to happen on this card is going to directly affect Forbidden Door. You know, like to think if I'm watching this match and it ends with the title coming off Okada, like that automatically like sinks Forbidden Door even more for me. Like we already lost Punk. Now, why would they do that? So, but then again, Jay White comes in with the title. For me, that's not as must see in Forbidden Door with Jay White walking in with the IWGP title as would be Okada. Like, I feel like he needs to walk into Forbidden Door with that title around his waist and get whoever he's going to get. So that's my take on it. So I'm saying Okada. For that reason. And for that reason only.
So
maybe I shouldn't do that, but
so Jay White has a 3-1 record over Okada. Okay.
wow.
Okada's only win over Jay White was at the Ring of Honor G1, the Ring of Honor New Japan G1 Supercard.
Was that WrestleMania weekend 2019?
I don't know.
Okay, it doesn't
It
matter.
was the
Yeah,
Madison
sorry.
Square Garden show.
I think that was
No,
WrestleMania weekend.
no, it happened in
2019.
January, February, March. It happened in April. Oh, maybe
Okay.
April 6th. It happened April 6th.
2019. Yeah.
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 So, but to be fair to Okada, 2 of Jay White's wins were in the G1 Climax. So, when it comes to the big stage, Jay White has a win over Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 13, while Okada has a win over Jay White at the G1 show, the Supercard show. So, on the big stage, it's kind of even.
Okay.
So, when I look at this match and the implications on Forbidden Door, so early reports was it was going to be Kazuchika Okada versus Hangman Page for the IWGP title
Oh, that's right.
at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot all about this game.
So, in which Hangman Page on Wednesday challenged Okada for the belt at Forbidden Door.
My fucking mind. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I also think that it could happen without any title involved whatsoever. The question then becomes, who do you get for Jay White to face at Forbidden Door? I think if you give me Jay White versus Hangman Page, I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. I'd much rather see Jay White versus Adam Cole, but I don't think that's going to happen because they're both very bad guys.
So why would you even put that out there Wednesday night then? Have Hangman Page even mention Okada's name then?
Because I think
is that going to hurt Hangman if this doesn't happen, or like I don't know. I feel like that's a bad spot for Hangman to have him say that and then not have it happen.
So
I guess maybe you should table that, but that's my take on it.
So after seeing Adam Cole say whatever he was going to say, or whatever he did say,
he lit him up. He lit him up.
So my thing is that, and this has been a common thing with when it comes to Forbidden Door, is a lack of hype. So I think even if you talk about a match, regardless if it happens or not, it's still hype for the pay-per-view. Now, could we see something as crazy as Okada beats Jay White at Dominion, and then we get Jay White versus Okada versus Hangman Page versus Adam Cole at Forbidden Door? Because
4-way?
Yes, because we have Hangman wants Okada, Adam Cole doesn't think Hangman deserves a shot. He does because he's the only Hart Cup winner. And then Jay White says, I was this close to beating Okada. I still have a better record than him. I want a shot. And then
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'd rather see a tag match with those four involved than a 4-way. If you're going to go there. If you want to get all four of those guys in a match.
No, I don't want a tag match.
I hate a 4-way. I fucking hate that idea.
Again, if I would much rather have Adam Cole versus Okada and Jay White versus Page.
And I say a tag match because I still think that Forbidden Door is built. I don't think this is a one-off. I think this is building to something else. So I don't think we need to get the dream matches all on the 26th either.
Right. So I think this is going to be a yearly thing. I think we're going to have yearly Forbidden Door shows. I also think we're going to have 1 or 2 AEW talent in Wrestle Kingdom over the 2 nights. So this match has Forbidden Door implications, but at the same time, I feel like it is very cut and dry because I think this is Okada's match to lose, and I don't think he's gonna lose it.
I don't think so.
I think if Jay White is to hold that belt again, it's gonna be around Wrestle Kingdom season. I think he has a chance to win it at Wrestle Kingdom.
I think you're right. And I think this is now, you want to talk, now I want to say conspiracy theory, but if the belt comes off Okada before Forbidden Door and goes on Jay White, I think it's New Japan protecting him going over there to wrestle. I do. I think there is something to be said, and that's just not like anytime you've watched New Japan deal with America, and even I'm going back to like WCW stuff, but there was always this weird protection thing, like with Muta and Flair and like the stuff they were doing. It was always like pinfalls, who's getting the pin, and they get so involved in that, and I understand why. I just don't want to see it. I really don't want to see it become an issue in this show. I don't want to see titles already with the interim AEW title shit going on. Like that's already leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Are we protecting a 3-year-old title here? Are we like, what are we doing? You know? So I don't know. That's where my head is with all this stuff and who's gonna honor their title on a show under another banner's promotion. And if they can't come to an agreement on who is going to win and who is going to lose, because I really do that. I think those are conversations that are taking place right now, and I'm willing to bet that they don't have anything substantially set in stone as to what the outcomes of these matches are going to be at Forbidden Door. I really don't, and I think it's more Tony because I think he's a fucking mess, and I don't know how professional he is, man, when it comes to this shit. And New Japan might be looking at him and like, I don't know what we're going to do with this guy. Like, he seems like a fucking loose cannon, and I feel like New Japan's like, we gotta protect our guys and our shit first. I don't know what their plan is being here. Like, what do they need from AEW other than national exposure on TNT and TBS, right? Like, what are they getting out of this? So what are they going to give to get whatever they need? And that's where my head has been with this whole show. But we can leave it for the Forbidden Door stuff. I just want to throw that out there and say it now while it's up here. We don't have to go into it, but just know going forward, coming into that show, that's where I'm at.
You talk about distrust in Tony Khan, and I think he's more willing to work with New Japan than New Japan is willing to work with him. I think,
of course, 100%.
But I don't think it's his fault. I think that it's New Japan. It's and you can kind of see this with their, if you look at their history with Ring of Honor, they were very giving to Ring of Honor, but at the same time, when it came to certain stuff, they're like, no, this is what's gonna happen. If you don't want it to happen, then we're not gonna do it.
We're not doing it. And they have those, like, they have that. They've never needed anything other than what they've done. They've done what they've done, and they've been so successful at it for such a long time, and they've always streamlined, right? And it's so impressive, even though it's a New Japan, like, they've always kept their head above water. They've always done what they needed to do without giving too much of anything. And I highly doubt the first time they give more than they need to, they're going to give it to Tony Khan. So unless this guy is putting on a fucking act every time he steps in front of a camera, I can't imagine them trusting him with anything.
So I think that New Japan is New Japan is very much still recovering from bad relationships.
Obviously, yeah.
But there's nothing to me that says that
not trust Tony Khan. Like, what do you?
Not just that, but I think that I think that New Japan has an issue with, I think sometimes setting your feet in or planting your feet and not budging is a bad thing. And I think New
100%.
Japan has a history of it being a bad thing.
Seems like it.
And New Japan has a history of being too scared to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a part of me that does not blame that right now. If you told me that it was going to be New Japan heavy on the wins at Forbidden Door, I don't think that's a Tony Khan issue. I think that's a New Japan issue. I don't think it's a distrust in Tony Khan. I think it's a New Japan's fear of being made out to look bad because of past relationships and being screwed in the past. So I think that if Jay White wins, it's because that's the direction New Japan wanted to go. It's not to protect Okada. They do not need to protect Okada.
So they're not making any moves up. They're not making any moves off this match based solely off Forbidden Door. Anything that happens in this match is strictly because this is the path New Japan is headed for New Japan and nothing else.
Right. Yeah, 100%. I think that I don't. The other thing too is like I feel like with other things like WrestleMania being the example and some other things is like we know you can go on the dirt sheets and see the card ahead of time and then it plays that out. There's one match, two matches that have been put out there and everything else is being held tight to the vest. So I think that regardless of how this show works out or pans out, that it wasn't that Forbidden Door wasn't thought about, but at the same time,
it's not directly affecting the outcome of Dominion.
Right. They should do this. Both AEW and New Japan should do this. Not book for Forbidden Door, book for Forbidden Door, G1, Wrestle Kingdom in New Japan's case, and with AEW book for Forbidden Door, Wrestle Rager, New whatever,
right?
Whatever their shows are. You know what I mean? So I have Okada winning because as much as I'm a Bullet Club and Jay White fan, I am way more of an Okada fan.
Jay White's close, but it's not there yet, and this isn't the match for it to happen.
I think it's. I think you're right.
Stage. I think it's a bigger stage for him too.
Stage too.
I think it's.
And again, and that's why if you told me there was a multi-man match for the IWGP title at Forbidden Door, and Jay White was involved in that, I can see him winning there. You know what I mean?
Wow.
How else? You know what I mean? I think that's a big deal, and that's a big show, and you need some big deals on that show. You gotta do more than just the matches. You can't rely on the matches for that show.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's Dominion.
That's it, right? That's it for Dominion.
That's it for Dominion. All right. We're at an hour and 45 minutes, so
I know. I was just looking at that. Absolutely.
I'm gonna touch on two things real quick. Just get them out of the way. Kota Ibushi, company president, New Japan president Obari, and former lead assistant to Gato, who is the head booker of New Japan, Kikuchi. I'm probably saying that name wrong. Were all penalized 10% of their pay for 3 months for everything that's gone on with the Kota Ibushi incident. For those of you who are following, for those of you who are not, the gist of it is that Kota Ibushi has been rushed back to wrestle after dislocating his shoulder in the finals of last year's G1 by New Japan, and he has held out and he has stood his ground on his recovery. He showed up at another promotion show on camera without permission. And
just recently?
Yes. Well, actually, the show was probably either earlier this year or late last year. I don't know.
Okay,
Honestly.
so not since all this has happened.
While he's been away on it it happened after the G1. So
Okay.
since he's been injured. And then Coda has been in talks with Kikuchi and and there's just been massive communication breakdowns, and Coda's kind of going off and calling out people within the company for cheating on their wives and other
Some serious
nefarious
shit.
deeds like that. And so as it currently stands, the latest news is those three people that I named, Ibushi, Kikuchi, and Obari, have been docked 10% of their pay for 3 months. There was talks that they were going to release Coda, but they want Coda for the future, and I don't know what strain this puts on the relationship, but I won't believe anything until Coda's something official has come out that Coda's released. I don't think New Japan's going to let him go until his contract comes up. And I only say that because I don't think Coda's going to resign whenever his contract's up.
It doesn't seem like it. I wouldn't expect him to. He's fucking awesome too, man. He's literally my favorite star over there and has been since he showed up. I didn't know this kid existed until he showed up in the CWC tournament that WWE did in 2016, 17, whatever some of that was.
And they tore it down with that Cedric
Alexander. Oh man, I probably already mentioned it again, but again, go find the CWC tournament from that summer on the network and watch Kota Ibushi's matches in there. And he's fucking incredible, man. He's such a talent. It's crazy. And it's sad to see this shit happen.
So for me, I don't like Kota Ibushi, but it's nothing against him. He's just not my cup of tea. But when
he's right up my alley.
See, and so I forget, it was a match with Okada and I think Jay White. He had 2 matches, and he goes what I like to call devil mode, and he just gets this blank look on his face and just absorbs everything and hits you 10 times harder.
Yes.
When it's Devil Kota Ibushi, I love it. I'm all here for it. So that's on that. Like I've said before, the New Japan Road Tour starts June 18th and runs to July 15th. The G1 Climax is July 16th through 18th. We'll preview that once those participants come out later on. We're doing our Forbidden Door show next week. Do we have
a certain day we're looking at for that, or
no? We gotta get schedules.
Okay.
Before I close out, before we wrap this up, and I go on my small tiny rant that I have, is there anything you want to touch on before I go on my rant? Anything about anything we've talked about?
No, I'm good. I think I got it all out when we got to it. So, yeah, okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. I want to preface this by saying I don't watch WWE.
Okay. At all?
No, not at all.
Wow. Were you ever a WWE guy?
Out of wanting to watch wrestling.
So where did you? Where did you start watching wrestling? Tell me real quick. When
did I start?
Yeah, what brought you into wrestling? WCW?
WCW Cruiserweights.
Oh, you said this. Okay. But the first hour of Nitro. Okay, you did say that. I see where you're at. And from there you found New Japan?
In high school I found New Japan, yeah.
Okay, fine. Go ahead. So
the Ruthless Aggression era is my favorite era of WWE. Especially with SmackDown. I thought that was when SmackDown was at its best. Was that
Cena's title run pretty much? 05
I mean, it was but it wasn't just Cena, it was Cena, it was Matt Hardy doing the version 1 stuff.
Version 1 stuff was awesome, yes. That was their last that tail end of, I call it the tail end of the Attitude Era, but it's Ruthless Aggression. You're right. It was that last bit of grit and real characters and fun shit. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That is a real good era of WWE.
It just feels, when it comes to WWE, it just feels like every time I watch it, I'm disappointed in something, and then I get aggravated and I don't want to watch it anymore.
It's paint by numbers, man. It's just what they do. Like, and I get it. Come on, let's be honest. Like, USA and Fox are booking these shows. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, how much control does really WWE have of the product they are giving to us on Mondays and Fridays now? So I don't think a lot, but that's a conversation for another time. We can't even get into it. Go on your rant. Sorry.
So I got real sick and tired of seeing news outlets and friends and people on the internet parading and putting on a pedestal Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell. Look, to wrestle with a torn pec in that whole thing is tough, okay? He shouldn't have done it. Should not have done it. But to me, it wasn't his fault that the internet community did this, but to say it's one of the most legendary performances of all time, to say it is historic and all this other stuff, I'm like, come on, dude.
I understand where you're at. I understand that. Think about how careful WWE has been with people wrestling with injuries, and I understand I don't want to say it's not a head injury, it wasn't concussion. I get that, but any kind of, we're talking about what they shut Daniel Bryan down and almost destroyed this kid's career, and they're letting Cody go on a torn pec. Like, it was more that, like, the fact that he was going to do it. If you were going to say, like, ask me if I think Cody Rhodes would wrestle in this position like that, yes, he's going to do it 10 out of 10 times. It was more WWE allowing it to happen for me is why it was so epic. Not that Cody did it, because I know Cody would have done that. It's like WWE allowing it and pushing it in your face after how careful they are with people wrestling hurt.
But I think that's why I'm so sick. That's why I think I immediately, like, dismissed it and, like, got sick of it, because I'm like, yeah, cool. The don't get me wrong. The pulling slowly of his jacket and revealing it was insane.
What a fucking visual, bro! Like,
right? It's a
what?
It's a,
but I'm a Cody guy. Like,
visual.
And I know JC is, but I fucking love Cody Rhodes, man. Like, he did that shit, and I was like, oh wow. Again,
but to me, it's one of those things where kudos for doing it. Again, this isn't on Cody Rhodes, and this rant isn't about Cody Rhodes or the performance. It's everybody else parading it around like it's this groundbreaking thing, like it's something that is going to change the landscape. Look, if it's that such big of a deal, then can we just move on to Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, where he beats Roman, please? Can we just get over it with then, so everybody can have their day? Because here's the other thing too. He went into surgery the other day. Like, if I like with all my biggest issue, and like I know you just said it was an epic moment for WWE because of how protected they've been. If at any point you should be protective or overly protective, it should have been this. You have millions and millions of dollars invested in this man. You're
right, but I think that's
rip
the
him
thing.
From
like,
the grip of AEW, and you give him whatever he wants,
and then you could have cost him his career. You could have cost him his career
100%. If I think I saw a picture from the other day. It was down to his wrist. Like, can we, like, again, all the props to Cody Rhodes for wrestling through this match and allowing Seth Rollins to do stuff to that injured area. But everybody in the internet community who's bowstring this so much, pull your pants back up, okay? Please.
I get it, and that's why Yeah. But that's also the fucking internet and Twitter, and I get it, and it sucks, and it ruins everything. It does, because if you just watching it and then talking to your buddies about it, and like I didn't go anywhere near anything that night because I knew it was immediately going to piss me off, and it was going to ruin how I felt at what I just witnessed, and it was going to skew anything bad that someone could have put in my head and say, no, this isn't that good, or you're overrating it or overhyping it. I didn't even want to see it because I knew it was going to be out there. And there was parts of me that said, yeah, this is a real fucking bad idea. And he probably shouldn't be doing this. And there could be a lot of backlash. And God forbid he's like, now I'm done. Now I can't go. Yeah, you look fucking foolish. And I get it. But I mean, I guess people hype the curtain. People hype the curtain call. People hype the curtain call. Granted, no one was working hurt, but the curtain call, fuck it. Like, I hate that. I hate how overhyped it and it changed the bids, this and that. We all knew. We all fucking knew back then. Don't tell me. And I guess I understand why you're upset about it and why you think it, because what you just said about everything Cody did is how I feel about that curtain call moment. And if we had this kind of outlet back in whenever that was, 95, 96, I don't remember. Yeah, it would have been fucking gross. And I get it. So I do. I understand it. And I can't argue I can't argue the way you feel about it, because you have all the right, and you're 100% right on everything you absolutely said. Like I said, like, JC's the only other guy I've ever met that's actually a real fucking fan of Cody Rhodes. Like, I used to get shit on all the time. So like, I know kind of like what he went through as like a fan of this guy, especially like with the Money Bank and the like, I get it. So it's a little different, I think, for guys like me and him who really wanted to see this guy succeed since Legacy, you know? So yes, that's why for me, it was like awesome for everyone involved, for WWE taking this chance and doing this. I don't ever want to see it again, though. You're right. Like, this isn't something that continue. We don't need people working hard to show how fucking ballsy they are. We know how ballsy these are every time they step in between the ropes. Like, you don't need to ever prove it again. And it don't continue to do this. So to your point, yeah, like, this isn't a precedent that needs to be set and has to continue happening moving forward. Absolutely not. You stop it now.
The only thing that pissed me off when it comes to Cody about all this is when it's the picture of him kissing the mat after the match, and he's like, and the tweet says, "For the love of this." I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut up.
But you know what? And I get that, but I don't think he's faking that.
No. It's completely genuine. It is 100% genuine.
Yeah.
But that's also my genuine response. Because you don't.
He's also kind of a heel, though, but that's why he's kind of like, we were talking about this when he was in AEW. He's kind of a fucking heel when it comes to this shit, because it does garner that reaction.
But the thing is that if he didn't wrestle because of this injury, no one was going to question his love for this. No one was going to question his heart or his drive or anything like that.
Fair enough.
Everybody would have went, "Oh yeah, that is a bad injury. Take your time off. Have your surgery." To me, it was unnecessary. It was really unnecessary, because
I understand it. I won't even argue on that. I completely understand what you're saying.
It was just really unnecessary, and that was the only thing on his part that upset me about it. Okay. Rant over.
That was I mean, I thought that was, yeah. I'm here for any time you want to talk fucking Cody Rhodes.
I'm not going to do it much.
No, I know.
So
love it.
So okay. So next week's Forbidden Door, we're going to get that out. But this is 2 hours. We're going to hear from Nestle.
Yeah, Nestle, I mean, feel free to cut anything you want me to like shorten it up. I completely understand. Don't cut anything.
He's gonna cut my Cody Rhodes speech, or my rant. But
the Cody stuff is I would absolutely
don't cut anything, Nestle. We love you. You got more views than you. Don't be too upset. Anyways, there's the plug. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
That's it.
That's it.
I get it right.
Nope. Fingers together. Put it together. There you go. United Empire out.